right, we are live. And I don't know if anybody's going to show up. We are in total experimentation mode right now. So we'll see how it goes. Oh, there's one person here, I think. Hey, yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon. We'll see if some more people want to get logged on here first. And you hit the like button. I appreciate that. So at least we'll have one like. Oh, now it's back to 0. Oh, all right. Up to 24 that quick. All right. 4 likes. Very good. Nathan, thank you. For the people, if you can hear me, hit that number 1 in the chat box. If everything sounds okay. Very impromptu right now. Very good, Mark. Well, I appreciate 7 likes already. Fantastic. Fantastic. That's encouraging. Let's see. Nathan, all right, good, good. All right, looks like we are operational. Been at the DMV for 5 hours. That seems a bit rough. Can't say I'm jealous. I'm jealous of that position. All right, well, totally random experimentation mode. I've done Saturday mornings. I've done a Saturday evening. Now I'm basically doing a Saturday, I guess we'll call it early afternoon. And I don't know how long this will last, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. We're almost at 10 likes already, at 26 viewers right now. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. This will be viewer driven. These weekend ones, preparation. I will I will go over requests. If you have a request for a stock, a future, a forex pairing, whatever you're trading, I can look at charts. If you have questions, if you have any sort of question about prop firms or prop firm strategy or whatever, this will be all basically dependent on you, the viewers. If nobody wants to request anything, I mean that's fine. If nobody has questions, if nobody wants, that's okay. But I'll just take that as my sign to bow out and continue on with my Saturday. But I've learned that these seem to have been helpful to people. But like I said, I want this to be all viewer driven. 12K Apex hit the bank. Congrats, Nathan. That's awesome. Hey, Hoover, good to see you. So yes, like I said, I'll start off just with the general markets. And again, if you have any requests, let me know. If we do pick up pace, it will become eventually basically $5 super chats for a request, just because I can't make any promises that I get to any request. But right now, nobody is requesting. So definitely no need to do a $5 super chat, because I'll be able to get to it, because we're just getting warmed up here. But I will start off here on the SPY, and we'll take a look at the SPY, and then we'll work our way from there. So just the general markets right now, the bounce continues. There's really hard to argue against that. You look at the lows, and these lows just keep getting higher and higher and higher. And then we had the big bonus. Actually, 2 bonuses this past week. Bonus number 1, and if you were watching last week's Saturday morning video, we talked about that key area of resistance right there at the 549 mark, and you can see that was broken this past week. And then on Thursday, got the next big bonus. That bonus being the price has now gotten back up above the purple line there, which is the 50-day simple moving average, and it's been many months. Last time the price had to go at this purple line. Look at that. I mean, that purple line was just smacking down the bulls. Had nothing to do with them at all. Just flat out said, get out of here. Smacked it back down. Just completely, owned on it. But this time, price is now up above here. So overall, I mean, a lot of good things going on this past week here for the bulls. But really right now, the next big question mark into next week is right there. That pink line, which on my chart is representing that 200-day simple moving average, one of those areas where, even if you just want to call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, the markets can really care about that level. And that's what it's knocking on the door of right now. It is knocking on the door of that pink line, so we'll see if the price can push up through there or not. Last time I got up there, it has, a history of knocking it down a couple times there. I did push up above it temporarily, but you can see as soon as it fell back below, went right back to acting as resistance right there. And never hit it exactly today, but got pretty close. So right now, let's just call it 570.15 will be the key battleground. So I think that is definitely the main interesting dynamic here. headed into the new week is, can the price actually push up through that 200-day simple moving average? Morning, Clay. Had a good afternoon yesterday. I got even during your stream. Called it good and walked away for the week. Tried again and made. Good job, Emmy. Dropping down to the 30-minute time frame here. We have. Actually, I'm curious. Where is? No, that wouldn't be it. I was wondering, is what's presenting that problem the pink line? But no, as we drop down to the 30-minute, the pink line would be up around here somewhere. But as of right now, basically in the very near term, change that to green for sport. Have basically a bull flag pattern here on the 30-minute. So resistance, support. Nice move up. So bull flag. So on the 30-minute, we have a bull flag, but this is where the multiple time frame analysis comes into play. Just because there may be a breakout on the 30-minute, hopefully you're saying, yeah, but there's a but. And the but is, well, on the daily, you have that 200 period right above. So there you go. You can see the little bull flag that I grew in there. So a breakout, don't get me wrong, breakout on the 30-minute, that would be good. That would be bullish. I'm just saying I wouldn't get overly excited about it because you have to remember on the daily time frame, you have that key moving average looming up overhead. So just keep that in mind on the breakout of the 30-minute. Again, that is a good sign. That's a sign of strength, but don't get overly excited about it. Nathan, again, if for those of you that are getting logged on, feel free to drop a request. It could be a stock, futures market, crypto, currency pairing, whatever you want. And I will, if you have questions, if you want to talk prop firm strategy, prop firms, just pretty much whatever, let me know. This is all viewer driven. So we'll go, well, I mean, we're not going to go forever, but we'll go as long as there's some interest and as long as people are interacting and making requests. Nathan asking for NQ. All right, NQ. Where does the NQ stand? All right, I'll get rid of these lines as they serve their purpose for now. So what's interesting here, and what I take as a sign of strength in and of itself, is that candle right there was a pretty iffy looking candle for the bulls, a pretty good looking candle for the bears. But then you factor in Friday's price movement, and as of right now, I mean, that candle has pretty much been completely wiped away and alleviated. So very, very impressive sign of strength, especially after that sort of candle there showed up. So sorry about that. But so nice daily candle there. And like the SPY, good to see that the price is now back above the 50 period moving average. Last time it was back above. I was back here in about mid-February. So nice movement there. Good to see that the price continues to build these higher bases. So, like the SPY, market is still showing those signs of higher lows. But I would say the big dynamic here is twofold on the NQ coming forward. Essentially a double whammy. Whammy number one is this area of resistance that I've mapped out previously at 20,575. You can see right there the price got rejected it. Right there the price rejected it. And then just the way that the chart has kind of continued to play out. The price not that far up above that red line there. We have the 200 period moving average, which could very realistically, as always, no guarantees, but I don't think anybody would be shocked if I said, yeah, the 200-day simple moving average behaved as resistance. I don't think anybody would say, wait, what? How is that? No, nobody would be shocked by that. So definitely a good week, but there's definitely some hurdles that, depending on how Monday go, could come into, on Monday, maybe they come into play if you get a bigger day. But I would say on the daily chart, you got to think most NQ traders are going to be paying attention to these couple levels right here. Let's drop down to the hourly. Let's see. I mean, the evident level that stands out immediately is that purple line there, but I'm just making sure that, is there something else that maybe my eyes should be drawn to? Hey, thanks a lot on the likes, up to 18, and I didn't even really request any likes, so I appreciate that. But yeah, if you are enjoying, if you've never been here before, but you're enjoying this sort of kind of just laid back what we're doing, make sure you hit that like button. But yeah, thanks. We're already up to 18. That's great. So So yes, purple line here, 50 period, I would say, there we go. I would say is a very interesting level. Any sort of pullbacks there could get interesting to potentially, try to, maybe some sort of long side position. And I do see the requests that people are putting on. And just as a reminder, no, this is not a must do, but $5 super chats, I'll get to yours immediately. So if you're like, Clay, I'm pressed for time, let's go. That's fine. $5 super chats, I'll get to yours right away. But no need to do it. The only downside being I may never get to it. I may not see it. Or I may get to it. It just may not be for 10, 15 minutes after you request it. But if you got time, that's cool. So like I said, no need to do a super chat, but that is what a super chat would be getting you. I'll get to your either your question or your request right away. Yeah, so in the very near term here, I would say we have a nice little bull flag headed into the next session, which for you futures traders out there, the next session starts Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So just one little advantage of how futures are kind of better than everything else, or at least definitely better than stocks and options, because options and stocks don't open up until, they don't open up on Sunday at 6 p.m. What's the 30-minute? Anything? Yeah, pretty much same general idea here on the 30-minute. You kind of got this, and this is very rough, but you got nice surge up, bit of a pullback here. So on Sunday evening, do we get another push to the upside? Whoops. But I think definitely, in my opinion at least, the most interesting dynamic on the NQ headed into the new week is all about that general area up there. Can the price push up through these levels? If it can, then you can start to make some plausible arguments that, all right, is the price now headed up to basically the top part of this range, which would put us back up over the 22,000. So we'll see what happens, but you don't want to get too far out of yourself, one hurdle at a time. So we'll see how the price behaves with those couple of hurdles. I came to hang out. Excellent. I'm glad you came to hang out. It's good to have you. Let's see. Anything of interest to you in the news this week? No, I don't think so. I guess let me rack my brain. No. Is there something, Hoover, is there something that you think I should be interested in? I can't think of anything, but maybe there's something I should be paying attention to. James, to keep it fair to everybody, you got to just one request. You can do multiple requests, but after the first one, I do say a $5 super chat is appreciated. Hey, Tom, good to see you. Yeah, it's been a while. I think my investments are doing pretty good, but like I said, my investments I'm not really too concerned about until 20 years from now, 30 years from now. So yeah, James, let me know. You gave me 4 ticker symbols. Which one would you like? Why? Is that a request? Is that a Hilda Bass? Is Y a ticker? No, that must not. Y must be for something else. Yeah. That's a goofy looking chart though. Yeah, that must be for... No, I just noticed no real news. Just wondering if I missed something. Yeah, I don't think so, because I haven't seen any quote-unquote real news out there either. So I don't think either of us have missed something, but if one of you other people in the chat room is like, wait, what are you talking about? What about... Well, yeah, let us know. Kyle, SOXL. Let's check out SOXL. So daily, rid of those. You got that? So yeah, I would say that we're at a pretty interesting level. Was the area of resistance right there, and that's right now where the candle is at on the daily. So is this a form of basically a double top? And is this about to get rejected back down? Which I don't think would be totally shocking. Okay, let me throw the question mark out there, because I'm not saying that's what's going to occur. But I mean, the overall trend is down. So for the trend to continue, like I said, I don't think that would catch people off guard. But you can very just clearly see that the trend is down via the moving averages. You have the 50 period with the downward slope. You have the 50 period. You have the 50 is below the 200. So yes, very clear downtrend. And now the price is at a very key area of resistance within the downtrend. AMC. Yeah, whatever happened to those guys, Josh? I remember them. Like, oh man, that was wild. I hopefully they've lost all credibility. I guess I don't know. But that was crazy. I mean, they were like cult leaders. But yeah, AMC is good. There's somebody that comes by our live stream every once in a while, once or twice a week. I thought it was trolling and joking at first, but he fully believes that GME is still going to go to $500 a share. And he's hook, line, and sinker. I actually did SPY to start off, James. And again, only need to say it once. Like I said, I started at the top of the chat and worked down. If it's a pressing need, as I was just explaining to people, feel free, $5 super chats. We'll get the request and I'll do it right away. No need to do super chats. It just comes with the kind of the downside of I may not get to it, I may not see it, and but if I do get to it, it may not be 20 minutes until after you request it. But so if it's super pressing, then yeah. If not, then that's fine. Hi, Clay. Good to see you. I am new to trading. Well, very good. Do you have any idea what kind of trading you want to do? Are you looking at day trade or swing trade? New to trading. That's still a little broad. What kind of trading? So yeah, 30-minute here. So actually, it's on the 30-minute now. That this red line is coming from the daily time frame. Actually, maintaining up above it. So that's good. And within maintaining up above it, do have a nice little bull pennant pattern here. So that does make me feel a bit better about the daily time frame. It's like, okay, daily's looking a little bit sketchy. I'm currently learning how to analyze gold. Well, and what tool are you using to analyze gold? Maybe you're saying I don't know, that's an interesting way to, maybe I'm nitpicking, but given you're new, let's make sure that everybody's on the same page here. So yes, the 30-minute does definitely make me feel better about it. If there is a breakdown and the price comes back down, not the greatest, but if the price can stay up above that purple line, that would be definitely a good sign. I will say though that what a turnaround. The last 30 minutes on Thursday, it was looking like uh-oh, and then just like that, ba-boom, up it went. So actually, when you factor in Thursday's final 30 minutes, again, Thursday's final 30 minutes right there, Friday was actually quite impressive. No, I mean, are you using technical charts? That's what I'm asking. I assume you're using technical charts. So when you say you're analyzing gold, you mean you're analyzing it with technical charts. And you're using TradingView to give you your technical charts. Is that an accurate understanding? All right. SOXL. PLTR. Okay, well, yeah. So in other words, so it has nothing to do with like you're learning to analyze gold. No, you're just thinking of trading gold because you can use charts to analyze anything. So if you know how to use charts to analyze gold, you would use those same charts, those same methods to analyze oil or the Apple stock or a currency pairing or a futures chart. So that's why I always argue charts are such a great tool. Because once you know how to use charts, then you can basically trade whatever you want. The only difference being instead of using charts to trade gold or to analyze gold, you're now using charts to analyze, Amazon stock, or you're using, charts to trade Amazon stock, or you're using charts to analyze, some sort of crypto pairing or Forex pairing. So good. Yes. Learn charts. And I'm glad that you're doing gold. That tells me that you're interested in the futures market. So assuming you want to be a day trader, that's where you want to be. Here's a bad goal if you're a new trader. I want to be a day trader in stocks, options, Forex, or crypto. That's not a good goal. Not because you can't make money in those markets, but because you're going to find yourself working harder, not smarter. So if you want to be a day trader, the most efficient, the most effective, the most, best way to manage risk, best way to use your capital, best way to get around pattern day trading rule in some senses is definitely to day trade futures, and then from the risk standpoint, day trade futures through a prop firm. Well, I see what you mean, like charts, as in, yeah, like what we're looking at here, candlesticks, all this stuff. That would be technical analysis. All right. Let's see. Oh, PLTR was the request. Again, if you're enjoying, wow, we're at 30 likes and I've barely even requested it. I like it. This is a good Saturday group. I was going to say Saturday morning, but it's not really Saturday morning. And we're at 50 viewers for me just randomly doing this on a Saturday afternoon. All right. That is inspiring. Again, I realize that I'm getting to things that were probably requested 15 minutes ago, but that's just how we're going. If you want to bump right to the top of the line, then the $5 super chats make it happen. But again, that is not required. It is just a way for you to cut in front of the line and get your question answered or get your request done immediately. So PLTR, let's just start here on the 30-minute. I am bearish in the very near term. We do have what I would consider a rising wedge pattern. Now, a rising wedge does not mean for sure guaranteed there's going to be a crash or it's going to go down or anything like that. Same as bullish pattern. Just because something's in a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go up. Same is true for a bearish pattern, which is what I would consider this. I'd consider this the rising wedge, which is bearish. So doesn't mean a crash, no, but I could see a pullback. I mean, even if it pulled back to right there, let's just say, the overall chart is still and would be perfectly fine. You'd have a low there, you'd have a low here, you'd have a low there. You get the idea, and if you envision those as stair-steps, you're doing just fine. Stair-steps are progressing in the upwards direction. So just because there's a bearish pattern does not mean that it's going to for sure go down. But even if it were to go down, that's not the same as, predicting some sort of massive crash or anything like that. But in the very near term, that's what I'm seeing on the 30-minute. That was already mapped out because this was part of the, if you're not familiar, at the end of every day, I do a top 10 stock list where I try to find some of the more volume-filled stocks that I'm guessing people care about. And PLTR was on that list. So that's where these annotations are coming from and while they're already there. Question, your whole trading philosophy has been trade and go enjoy your time or use it somewhere else, but you recently started doing live streams, which defeats the purpose of what? Yes, but see, here's the Galter mate. You have a faulty premise. You said, and go enjoy your time. So you're implying, though, by doing live streams, I'm not enjoying my time. I am enjoying my time. I find the live streams pretty fun. I'd like to say my proof of that is I've had a couple that have gone 4 hours. But yeah, as soon as live streams, if people become not interested and it doesn't become fun, then I just won't do it. So yeah, you are presupposing in your question you have a faulty premise. Your premise is that I don't enjoy doing live streams. So let's go back to the daily, because the daily, I didn't even realize this. So I think this makes that much more sense and makes me that much more confident in the rising wedge. But look where the rising wedge decided to form. I take that back. We're not quite there. I thought it was right at that red line, but we are now. Is that actually a full recovery? It is. Wow. Very impressive PLTR. Not quite there, but almost back up. So regardless, though, essentially right back up to those areas. Huh. I don't know why I'm just realizing that. But yes, okay. Not right at, but very close to those areas. So that brings up the question, are we looking at a potential double top? I don't know, but we have top 1. Will this be top number 2? You combine that with the 30-minute with where you have the rising wedge. Does that mean that this thing is going to, again, collapse back down? Doesn't mean that at all. But I could definitely see it maybe need to pull back now, consolidate a little bit, and then make that break. But I don't know. I get it is PLTR. Maybe this thing is getting ready to just blast up through this former high right here like it didn't even exist. But yeah, that's actually an interesting dynamic there. Todd Stocks, a general question: how do you determine your exits, especially with that? That's a very good question, but that's a very in-depth question. I mean, I can give you. Well, it depends on the strategy. It depends on the goals of the strategy and all that. But I realize that doesn't really answer your question, how you're asking it. But yeah, that's a way more in-depth question. That, you're basically asking, hey, how do you build quality trade plans? That's what you're ultimately after. So I'll just link you. You can do this as you will. But I do offer a training program if you kind of want to basically get that and much more answered, Todd. So I'll just link that to you. And like I said, you can do with that link as you will. All right, let's go back up to earnings for PLTR after market Monday. Well, as of right now, people seem to be thinking that the earnings are going to go very well, given how this thing has been behaving. Yeah, and Todd, you must be more of a. I'm guessing you must be more of a swing trader because, like, as day traders, I don't really care about gaps. I mean, I factor them in, but gaps aren't really as big of a maybe as a problem as what they might be in the world of swing trading. I already addressed that one. Oh no, that's fine, Todd Sox. I'm just no need to apologize. I'm just like I said, that just goes to show every strategy's kind of got its. There's some things that day traders care about that you as a swing trader are like, hey, I'm not a day trader. I don't have to worry about that. So there's give and take with anything. Because of earnings, I would be short. Well, because of earnings, I wouldn't be either. Because that's more so gambling than anything. I mean, unless you have some sort of inside information. But even if you had inside information, I mean, you don't necessarily know how the market's going to react to it. Let's see. So that was PLTR. Where was I? There it is. MARA. All right. MARA. So yes, immediately that sticks out in my mind. And MARA is the price is now right at that level, and the one worrisome thing. Well, this level here is the key area of resistance. There, resisted a bunch of times there, and right there was resisted. But today, or not today, but Friday, yesterday, the price did poke its head up above there, so there was that breakout. But then if you notice that upper shadow, well, the upper shadow is there. The upper shadows are created because price movements make a move and then give back up the move. And that's what happened here. And in this situation, the quote-unquote move wasn't move up through that key area of resistance. Again, that doesn't mean that it's a fake breakout, but it now becomes very valid to say, it broke out and then came right back down. Is this a leading indicator of it to pull back some more? So that remains a key question, but that's definitely the dynamic that stood out to me pretty quickly looking at the daily time frame. Oh, 30 minutes. I mean, you could throw this right into a textbook. Wow. So we have an area of resistance. And then check this out. Boom, boom, boom. Basically connect those. Got a bottom part. And then if we, look at something like that, then for you golfers out there, put the golf hole down here. I mean, this is a pretty good looking bull pennant pattern right here. So with that said, you got to think that there's probably a lot of longs already in this. Got to ask yourself, where do you think these longs have their stops at? My guess would be longs have their stops probably below that area. So as a short thinking, if the price breaks down through here, I'm going to go ahead and get short. I'm going to try to take advantage of these long stop losses, maybe try to, ride it down to that 50 period. I could see a thought process like that. So interesting dynamic here, mainly just because those points are so just almost spot on with one another. But the overall trend is still very bullish. So if you're doing something short like that, I'd probably be a little bit more on the aggressive side of the profit-taking tactics. Wow, we're almost at 50 likes. This is a great Saturday group. Again, if you are enjoying, hit that like button. That's always very helpful to me to gauge the interest on these, especially on Saturdays. If it's actually worth my time or not to do it. But I enjoyed it. It's fun to hang out for for a little while, talk some trading, answer some questions. But if people are not enjoying, if people are not finding it helpful, then I probably won't choose to spend my time to do it. So if it is any of those things, helpful, entertaining, educational, then make sure you hit that like button to communicate that. So yes, MARA, that's a big question in my mind. Was this a fake breakout? And with the 30-minute, you do have a nice little bull pennant, but you got to keep in mind, this is basically a daily resistance. So to this daily resistance, is that what it took to kind of smack the price back down and break through that area of support? We'll see what happens. We have some huge weeks up ahead. I can feel it. It's in the air. Anyway, thanks for your analysis. I'm out. Oh boy. I always get a little nervous when people start feeling stuff. I can feel it. You can feel it, or are you just hoping? Sometimes then you ask more questions like, well, I actually own a position. I'm actually, I'm maybe a little over leveraged. I maybe put in a little bit too much position size. So they're not feeling anything. They're just hoping for it. So no, I study nonstop. Well, no, I mean no, not hoping, just confident. All right. Well, I hope I hope it pays off for you. Let's see. Let's see. Where was I? MARA. Good afternoon. Yes, I'm going back up in the chat because I'm just taking them in order. And as I was telling people, if you want to skip to the front of the line with a question or a request, Super Chat will make that happen. SPY, I did that at the very beginning. MOG. All right, let's take a look at MOG. Oh, no. Oh, no. What in the world? James, are you still here? No, don't. Yeah, hey, let go. You might want to let go of that. That's you've exited the world of confidence into just ignorance based in arrogance. Nothing will happen. Sammy, that's a weird one. That's a weird one, Sammy. Yeah. Again, James, are you still here? You did make this request. Did you give me a list so I can call it? James Nels? Are you still here, James Niels? If you're not, I'm not going to actually do this one because this... Okay. I think let go is gone. He did say he was going to leave, but this is actually a very valuable learning lesson that we just witnessed play out right before our very eyes. All right, the James guy is not here. I'm not going to talk. This just is like, what? This is absolute pure garbage. Like, what is this chart I'm looking at? Dude, you are wrong. I don't know what you're talking about, Sammy. Are you talking to me or somebody else in the chat? I'm not quite sure what's going on here. One thing I do know, though, is that you like your emojis. And what a clown and a fish. I don't know. If you are talking to me, I'm not sure what I was wrong about. I'd be happy to own up to something if I was wrong on something. But, well, you did say I'm wrong always. So I guess. All right. So, wrecking all your sheeps. Oh, are you one of the guys? Do you think that I run a penny stock shorting hedge fund? Is that like, what are your thoughts? What do you think I'm doing here? Like, I have like a group that just blindly follows me, or what's your, where do you fall in the clay trader conspiracy spectrum? Oh, this is fun. I always get a little, when I see people spelling wrecking like he does, he's like, okay. So what exactly is going on here, Sammy? I'm curious. Like, are you one of the people that think I have a hedge fund that shorts penny stocks? Or are you somebody that just thinks we're like an evil group of people? That like what, or do you think that everybody in the chat is just going to blindly follow every, like I haven't even said to buy or sell anything. So I'm trying to figure out, where do you stand on the spectrum, Sammy? Other than the emoji spectrum, which you like emojis. All right, so very quickly, Let Go's not here, but Let Go is on the course for a train wreck. Because if you go through what he said, he's making some comments and all this sort of stuff. And then what did he say? Then I just told him, hey, you got to be careful. Are you sure this hoping's not turning into, or you all this kind of, are you really that confident, or is it like kind of you're just hoping because maybe you're not quite sure? And then he, because he said, he can feel it. It's in the air. Feeling stuff. It's in the air. It's like, I don't know what that actually means, but is that a sign that you're more so just hoping because you're feeling stuff? So that's where things start to maybe get a little sketchy. But then he says, no, I study nonstop. Okay. And then he says, no, not hoping, just confident. Okay. And then he said, it will. Like, it's because then I said, well, I hope it does well. Like that was my final thing there. Okay, that's fine. I hope it does well. And then he says, it will. Well, right there, do you see? This is, now studying is good. I'm glad he's studying. Hard work is good. I'm glad all those things are required. So I'm not saying that any of those things are bad. All I'm saying is be careful that you're studying, your hard work, all that. If it leads you to confidence, that's the goal. You got to be confident. But like when you start to sit here and just say, no, that it will happen. Like it's going to go well. Think about what you're actually saying. Like there are no guarantees in the market, but when you make a statement that it will go well, you have just basically said, hey, I know that this is for sure going to happen. So that is where I say you have now crossed from being confident, which is good, which is required, into the world of just ignorance via the tunnel of arrogance. So, here's confidence, but there is this pathway that you can take that does lead to arrogance. Oh, look at this. I guess we got CIA. Oh, I might have to run with this. Are you in CIA mode? So if you are in CIA mode as a trader, as an investor, what do I mean by that? Well, it means you have done something to get you confident. Problem is, you have now become arrogant through the tunnel of ignorance. Because you are being totally ignorant if you think that like you know something will happen or that something is going to happen for sure. That's just ignorant. But that ignorance has carried you to just coming across as very, very arrogant. So Let Go, you are in CIA mode, even though Let Go's not here. Well, all right, I'm gonna start to use that and view live streams. When I come across them, I'm like, I think you're in CIA mode. Be confident. Be confident. Just make sure that you don't end up arrogant through ignorance. Wait, Sammy. Oh, Let Go is here. Well, I mean, like maybe. Okay, so Let Go is a gaslighter. Nobody's freaking out. You said it will. What was that in regards to? Let Go. Up earlier, you said it will, and that had shown up after I said, okay, well, I hope it goes well for you, and then you said, well, it will. So maybe I could very well could have misinterpreted that. Well, that's why I'm asking. I'm trying to get to know you. I'm trying to get to know what your claim actually was. So what was the it will? What was that in reference to? What will is more clear than my question. Right, okay, but what will? You said it will. What is it? Because whatever it is going to happen. That's what will means. Oh, okay. That's why I'm asking. Fine. I won't be the first time I've misinterpreted. All I'm asking is, can you please tell me when you said it will, what was it in regards to? Talk about SPY levels now. Oh, what Sammy went to. All right, Sam, I don't know what's going on with you. From 1 minute, I'm wrong always, to now all of a sudden he wants me to talk about SPY. And then he's telling me to keep up the good. Sam, I don't know what's going on with that. You're very technical. Well, you have to be technical if you're trying to understand what somebody's trying to say. So, I mean, I will have so much more clarity if he can just, because my whole argument was based off of what I thought he meant by it. You said it will work out. You said it will work out. Yeah, I said I hope it works out for you. It is whatever I'm doing that will work out. You said, yeah. It is whatever I am doing that will work out. It is whatever I am doing that will work out. Well, what are you doing, let go? I know, I understand. What are you doing? Because whatever you're doing, you're saying it will work out. So yes, what are you doing? Correct. I don't understand. That's why I'm asking you a question so that I can understand. Yes, you are right on that. I do not understand. Hence my questions. So next week we green or red? What's your opinion? I have no idea, Tuan. I am picking good companies with huge growth potential. Okay. So you're saying that PLTR will grow. My goal, bro, please stop going back. Well, no, that's part. It's come hang out, come talk. Like if you think that I feel like analyzing 47 different tickers without any breaks, then you're crazy, Mike. You cray, okay? No, I'm saying what I'm doing will work out for me. Okay, sounds good. Good. I think I read somewhere up there, let go, that you had a stop loss or something like that. What did he say? All right, before you gaslighted. No, I am paying attention. That's why I'm asking particular questions. Man, you got to work on your gaslighting, dude. Nobody's freaking out. So here is some, now I can, like, I would encourage you, like, if somebody starts to question you to seek clarity, don't automatically jump like, you don't know me. Why are you freaking out? Just because somebody's questions you does not mean they're freaking out. So that would be one skill that I would say you could take away from this. I would encourage you in that situation. Oh, there's the risk management, but I didn't intuition. So okay, you're trying an intuition, which I get fine. If you've done your homework and you're confident, there's some intuition, no problem there. But I didn't say bet the farm on it. So cool, good. That's some risk management. Not betting the farm is risk management. Yeah. So the one takeaway I'd give you is, in life, just because somebody maybe doesn't quite understand, not everybody can be as smart as you. So some people like, and I'm not that smart. That's why I ask lots of questions. But I like to listen. I like to try to understand what I'm hearing. But just because somebody may ask you questions for clarity's sake does not mean like you have a faulty line of logic if your line of logic is, therefore this person is freaking out. So that's one thing I would encourage you to maybe change within your conclusions of how things can play out. No, Fortnite, I'm not going to do that. Just based on the premise that like the fact that you are even like, you've put your money into that thing, no thanks. But yes, let go. Good job on the risk management. I appreciate your hard work. That's good stuff that you're studying hard. You're building up confidence so you can get some of that intuition. You're not betting the farm. That's good stuff. Well done. Well done. All right, let's see where we at here. So I got to ask Fortnite, like, why would you trade something like that? Like, what is your attraction? Like, you don't have a lot of money. Like, what are you trying to do with that? Why would you? Like, it's clearly nothing serious. So why are you putting your money in something that is genuinely nothing serious? Like, because it can move fast? Is that why? Is that why? You're shorting it. Oh, okay. Well, that does make it better. No, we're good. Yo, you're no. Like I said, you're good. Let go. Hey, Mike, like I told everybody. Okay, yeah. So, Mike, I get it now. You just want me to, so I can get the UPST. Well, as I said earlier, Mike, if UPST is that important, then hit me up with a $5 super chat. As I've said, and I'm trying not to say it very often because I don't want to get repetitive, but apparently I need to. If something is that important, then $5 super chats puts you at the front of the line. I'll do it right away. But one way to not get your thing done is to blow up with continuing to request the same thing over and over and over again. When I've said that I'm starting at the top of the chat. And then you go and tell me, stop engaging with people. What you're really saying is, hey, I got things to do today. So can you just get to my thing so I can get it and then just bail? If it's that important, Mike, $5 super chat. If it's not, well then with all due respect, man, that's the trade-off. Life is filled with trade-offs. But nobody here needs to give a $5 super chat. But if you don't, then I may not get to it because I don't want to promise anything. And if I do get to it, it may not be until 10, 15, 20 minutes after you request it. But please, please do not, putting the same thing in the chat over and over again is not going to speed up your chances. If anything, it diminishes it. So where was I? Earnings on PLTR, gambling. What do I think about, oh, what Cake Boss asked for a hood. Robin Hood. Robin Hood. These are old annotations. Well, Robin Hood. $51.50. Yeah. I was gonna make, but yeah, that was pretty high up above it, so I'm not even gonna bring that in. But right here, I mean, I don't think you can offer up too much of an argument. Very recently, 51.50 certainly been a key level. Rejected twice now off of it, including Thursday rejection. But I will say Friday, pretty solid move when you consider that was a rough candle. Gap up, gap and trap, boosh, down it went. Seemingly had a lot of momentum. Especially when you factor, in fact, was that maybe earnings? Did Robinhood have earnings on May? What was that, May 1st? Maybe that's what created that. But either way, big, nasty red candle, big red volume, and then Friday, nice little green candle there. So yeah, I think that's probably the biggest takeaway here from the daily, at least. Let's drop down on the 30-minute. Ooh, 30-minute. Got to think a lot of people have probably drawn that trend line right there. And then we have a key area of support right there. Purple line. Purple line. So 50 period simple moving average right there. So I got to think shorts are watching this because I could see a short. In fact, if I was looking at potentially shorting a setup like this, I could be saying, all right, well, I can, I'll use this as a confirmation point. So, just for, get short there. But the more candles that go by, my risk profile is shrinking because if I use this trend line as my stop loss, then the further it goes, the more number down it goes. So if it were to fail like right here and I could put my stop right here, well then if I have a target, let's just say down here at these lows, yeah, I don't know, what is that, about a 3-to-1? Maybe 2.5-to-1? If this right here is my risk box, give or take, and then this is my reward box, if I can get that first target, then yeah, probably that's probably about a 2-to-1. So I can also see shorts potentially interested in a break of that area right there. And that also what I would say leads to the conclusion that this area down here, I would certainly say is an important area of support down there at 46.50. And in fact, if the price were to go down there, I would not call you crazy at all if you're like, I'm buying there. I think it might bounce. Hey, it's not guaranteed to happen, but I understand your logic. It's bounced. So 46.50 definitely going to be a very key area of support heading into the next week, assuming this breaks to the downside. But I can also see the logic of if it comes up through here, it gets a good solid break, that it could very well be headed back up to that area at 51.50. Do I ever copy trade? I have not moved into copy trading quite yet. I'd like to get there, though. All right, well, looks like we got some good back and forth conversation. That's good. Always good if people press against your idea, because if people press against it and you can defend it, that's a good thing. So it looks like some people are giving let go a little bit of their thoughts, and he's apparently pushing back. So that's good. Good. That's how things get better. If you cannot defend your idea, maybe your idea isn't that good. But if you can, hey, good. Let's see here. Where was I? I literally started off this whole thing with SPY. So if anybody was wanting SPY, you can once this goes in the archive. That was the first thing I talked about and looked at. So I'm not gonna rehash that one. Let's see. All right, I gave Mike some thoughts, and he didn't get. So let's do UPI. I like Mike. I was wondering how he's going to react to my kind of just like, hey man, what's going on here? All right, so for Mike here, let us do indeed get UPST. He seems, as far as I can tell, he took my feedback as intended and didn't get all offended and start crying about it. All right, good, yeah. Appreciate that, Mike. So daily, well, step number one, good. Got up above that purple line, 50-day simple moving average. And we'll see if it can stay up above it. Sorry, I'm getting some text right now. Actually, I think this trend line is pretty interesting here. Yeah. So that's one that you got to think some shorts are probably keeping an eye on. But in the very near term, got up above the purple line there. Good step, especially when you factor in the last couple of times it tried both there and there. The price did fail to do so, but it is now up above it. It did pull back, but it's still up above it. But the next big battleground is, yes, the famous 200-day simple moving average. So not totally shocking at all to see the price get rejected right there. We'll head down to the 30-minute here. I mean, 30 minutes got a very nice pattern here. Big move up. So nice bull flag here. The thing you just have to remember, and from a trading standpoint, not a big deal, but essentially right up here at the high of this candle is, so if we extend this across, that's essentially the 200-day simple moving average, right? Because when we were just looking at the daily time frame, remember on the daily, the price had gone up to the level and then got smacked back down. So the quote-unquote smack back down point was right there. So we know that the 200-day simple moving average is right there. So from a trading standpoint, though, even if we just continue to go with the premise that 200-day simple moving average is going to keep smacking the price back down, well, again, this is not guaranteed to happen, but I could understand the logic that if the price, breaks out here, and then again, the premise being it'll get smacked back down. Well, if it gets smacked back down, it's first got to go all the way up there in order to get smacked back down. So even if it gets smacked back down, well, I mean, from a trading standpoint, that's a nice little move there. From there up to there, the smackdown point. Again, not guaranteed to happen. I'm just saying that because of the pullback from a trading standpoint on the 30-minute, there does seem to be enough wiggle room to still potentially pull out a profit before that daily time frame could go back into effect and hammer the price back down. So that's a nice little situation here on the 30-minute. Just out of curiosity, looking on the 5-minute. Yeah, so there's UPSD. Good day, not the greatest that it pulled back, but again, 30 minutes shows that the pullback here has created a nice little pattern. Again, for those of you that are maybe new, this is viewer driven. So if you have a request for a stock, a future, Forex, crypto, anything like that, let me know. If you want to cut to the front of the line, just the $5 super chats make that happen. But no need to do that. If you don't do the $5 super chat, then you just kind of got to take the risk that I see it and I'll get to it. Or, the other thing being I may not get to it until 20 minutes after you request it. Thanks, Matt. Yes, the kids will want. I don't know. Prices have gone up, but yes, that'll get them a carton. Thanks, Matt. That's very kind of you. Do you have a request or anything? Or are you just being super nice? Correct. Or I just reject your request because the fact that you're even giving any of your time to that thing, I think, is ridiculous. That is also true. That is 100% accurate. If I deem you just totally wasting your time with something, I'm not going to participate in the time wasting. Thanks, Matt. DRS. All right. Is that Horton's? No, that's DHI, right? Yeah, DRH Horton. What's DRS? Darren? Is that Darren's? Oh, no, I've never heard of this. Leonardo? Well, that depends on your strategy, Let Go. You're an investor. Most people, or you're like, I don't know what you are, but you're definitely not a day trader, which is fine. I'm just saying that in the world of day trading, yeah, charts are basically like 97% of it because we just care about what's the price is doing. We don't care about balance sheets. We don't care about cash flow statements. We don't care about economic macro theory. We're just like, hey, what do I think the price is going to do here in the next 3 minutes? But yes, I do agree. If you are like an investor or something like that, then yeah, I would definitely go beyond the charts. Okay, it's a military defense stock. Gotcha. Well, they must have had some good news or earnings or something because that not a whole lot can be said from the daily time frame other than ba-boom, both price and volume. I mean, I, in a sense, I suppose you could say that if there's some sort of bigger pullback, then yeah, I'd keep an eye on this area down here because that was a former area of resistance around the 3750 mark. Let's go to the weekly time frame. Oh wow, is this all? Let's go to the monthly time frame. Okay, wow. So this may be all-time highs, maybe. Because now we're on the monthly time frame, meaning if you're a beginner, each one of these candlesticks, instead of representing a day or 30 minutes, which is what we've mainly been looking at, each one of these represents an entire month. So you look down here, I mean, now you're seeing like multiple years. So yeah, this must be all time. So yes, again, daily, I'm not getting a whole lot from there, just other than great past couple of days. What about the 30-minute? 30-minute, a little worried. Now, this is more so from a very narrow down perspective. I mean, we're on the 30-minute time frame. But what I see is there was a nice bull pennant, and then there was a breakout of it. And to be fair, it is still in broken territory or breakout territory because the price did close up above the pattern. But what has me, and this is from an investing standpoint or like a swing trader standpoint, I don't think this really matters at all. But that upper shadow has me a little worried, like, oh, was this a breakdown or was this a fake breakout? But again, let's just assume that it was. Just because that's a fake breakout, in no way does that imply that this thing's going to crash. So, well, let's say it was a fake breakout, and that's going to cause this thing to, go back down to here. Again, from the grand scheme of it all, well, if you have a set of lows here, and then you look at this set, and then as we were just looking at on the other, and then you have other sets of lows down here, and then you envision those as stair steps. Overall, the stair steps are still clearly going in the upwards direction. So it's not like that candle right there is going to like destroy the entire chart, but just more so from what was a very nice bull pennant breakout. Maybe things are looking a little shaky in that regard, but overall, hopefully, who requested that? Todd. Hopefully, Todd, you own some of that before the big boom. What are you teaching new here? Was that for me? Well, I'm not teaching anything. I'm just going over. I'm doing some chart analysis. There is nothing new to teach in the market, okay? Okay? If anybody says, I have something new to teach you, please run the other way. I assure you. Everything has been discovered within the markets. Now, can things get repackaged, rebranded? Sure, but it's not anything new, you know? So no, I am not teaching anything new. But I'm not quite sure, Malcolm, what exactly you meant by that. And it gets a little... I believe they're a very good short to be had here. Maybe you would have seen it too. Shorting meme coins is the best thing I've done. Well, I think you're taking for it. I think that's ridiculous. To short meme coins is absolutely reckless. It's reckless. I get the majority of them go down, but it's like the new thing that used to be when I got back in my day. But it used to be penny stocks, right? You short penny stocks because penny stocks are trash companies and they all go down and all that, which is true. All true. So that sounds great. You're doing that with these, whatever you call them, meme coins. They're meme coins. They're not serious. They're garbage. So, I mean, it's literally the same exact logic. You're just replacing penny stocks with meme coins. The logic being, I said I'm new to the channel. I don't think, no. Yeah, okay. I just read as, what are you teaching new here? So given there was no comments, it literally just like, what are you, so if you would have said, what are you teaching? ? I'm new here, then I would have got it. But you literally just said, what are you teaching new here? So I thought you were saying like, am I teaching something new? I see now reading it again, but a little bit of punctuation would have bridged that gap. But good. It's good to have you. Welcome. But yes, now that I read it, I can see how you would have been saying that. I just, I took that one the wrong way. But anyways, so penny stocks the logic goes like this. Penny stocks are all garbage. Meme coins are all garbage. Therefore, short them because they're going to go down. So reckless. Not responsible trading at all. But it's been working for me. That's great. That doesn't mean that it's not a bad idea. Because let's say a penny stock is garbage. Okay? So you're shorting. It's garbage. And then it goes down to zero. Now, if you're short, this movement here just wrecked you. Just totally wrecked you. Well, I'm going to use a stop loss. Yeah, until slippage gets you or until you go on tilt. Until you hold in hope. And then that movement right there liquidates your account. Yeah, your swing trading that makes it even worse. Because now you have, that doesn't do anything. You're taking on such a crazy amount of risk. I understand. They're all garbage. They'll all go down. Fully agree. But they can also spike. They can also have pumps on them. They can also get, people can cause them to short squeeze. And before you know it, this movement here, again, look where it went. That's zero down there. It went to zero. But before it went to zero, this happened. That's why shorting penny stocks, shorting micro caps, shorting all that stuff is just irresponsible. It's reckless. And you don't actually care about risk control. And that's, the market is luring you in. I've been very good at it. Yes, the market rewards bad behavior. Literally, a blind, drunk monkey can show up and start to make money in the market. Anybody can make money in the market. The hard part of the market is, can you hold on to those gains? Can you keep making money? Or in other words, what do you do when you're wrong, right? Anybody can make money, but can you manage risk? Can you control risk? And with what you're doing, no, you can't. So I don't deny that at all. You've probably been doing very good. The market likes to play that games all the time. And I understand from your perspective, I'm jealous of you. I'm hating on you. I'm raining your parade. I know. If I put myself in your shoes, I understand you would never listen to me because in your mind, but what I am doing is working. So you're thinking rationally. You're thinking, I'm doing something that's working, so why would I not do this thing that's working? Because it's working, so why would I not do it? I understand your logic. That's why trading is hard, because you are actually thinking rationally right now. But I'm just telling you, just remember, the guy that tried to warn you, when you get kicked in the face with one of these, and you just take a massive, massive loss, if not lose your entire account, which is very common doing what you're doing. But again, I get it. I get it why you would not listen to me right now. You're feeling good. You're making money. You think I'm just some old crusty hater that's jealous of you. I understand. I'm a very logical person, and you are following the logic. I am making money doing what I'm doing. This person is telling me what I'm doing is wrong, but what I'm doing is making me money. So that person's just jealous of me. I get it. But you are behaving very recklessly. there are more efficient ways, there are more risk-controlled ways to go about the market. I will say that. But you can't make this up. Yeah, that's literally what I know. I know. Were you not listening to me this whole time? You're acting like you know what I'm saying. I do know what I'm saying. You're gonna get wrecked. But I also understand why you're looking at me with your arrogant attitude. Because you're taking lots of profits. You have a plan. I get it. I'm just telling you it's a bad plan. And the market has a way of making people think that they have a good plan until it's not. Can anybody here, can anybody back me up on that? Like, for anybody that's maybe got more experience, have you ever thought that you had a good plan because you were making money in the markets and then the market eventually humbled you and showed you, oh yeah, I guess I don't have a good of a plan. Has anybody been there before? I have. Give me a one. Has anybody been here? Hopefully this doesn't backfire on me. Again, have you been there where you think you have a good plan and then the market just shows up and crushes you? Samir, yes, 100 times. I guess just me and Samir. I guess everybody else has never been humbled by the market. Oh, there we go. Todd, absolutely. The biggest losses I ever had were the ones I thought were a sure thing. How many times per week? Yeah. Again, I realize there's nothing I can do for you right now, Fortnite. Because I understand your logic. You're making money. Your plan is working, but I'm telling you, it's not a good plan. I'm telling you, you're going to get wrecked. But hey, I'm glad you're making. I just hope you make enough money so when that day comes, you'll still walk away with at least some profits. I'm telling you, the market is a cruel place. The market loves to build. The market loves to give out fool's gold. I'll put it that way. And I've been through all sorts of cycles with it. Marijuana stocks, the GameStop, the AMC. What was it? Even the whole, the COVID bounce, right? Everybody thought they were great traders because during COVID bounce, everything was going straight up until things started to pull back and people, it just, remember Peloton, right? Peloton. Everybody thought, oh, I'm so great because Peloton, I'm making so much money on Peloton. Because look at this, it was right here, and then, COVID, ba-boom, ba-boom. All you do is just buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. See my plans working, buy the dip, buy the dip. Okay, dipped. Okay, dip some more. Oh, see, it's going back up. It's working. Okay, dip some more. Oh, okay. Oh. And now it's all the way down here. So everybody's plan works until it doesn't. And shorting penny stocks, shorting meme coins is such it's a disaster waiting to happen, and it will happen. It takes time, though. All right. But I do realize, again, I'm not going to make any headway because he just thinks I'm a hater. He doesn't think I know what I'm talking about. Fair enough. UNH. Is that United Healthcare? Let's take a look at UNH. Oh boy. I think I own some of this in my portfolio. No, I take that. No, I'm thinking of something else. What am I? It's not this. Yeah, I don't know what angle you're asking about this from, but this is a pretty rough looking chart right now. Is there a falling wedge here? I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to fit a square peg through a round hole. No, there's a nice little falling wedge, which is a bullish pattern. Change that to green to represent the support. Yeah, so a nice little falling wedge here on the daily time frame. I don't know if that will translate to anything worthwhile on the 30-minute. Let's try that. Okay, so 30-minute, yes. Top part of this pattern probably going to be pretty rough to break through when you consider the top part of the pattern is also essentially that purple line there, the 50-period moving average. So double whammy of resistance there. Again, that doesn't mean that it can't break to the upside. I'm just saying that the price is probably going to have to really bring its A game if it is going to be able to push up through that upper area of the pattern itself. What's the hourly look like? Same. Okay, yeah. Not exact, but hovering here. So the hourly is suggesting, yeah, well, you could get a break up through the pattern here, but you don't really want to get too excited because not that far looming up ahead, you have that 50 period moving average. So you could get the breakout, whoop, back down it goes. Now, if you're a scalper, I don't know, maybe that's enough wiggle room to scalp. But it's hard to, just as a point of suggestion, if you have a request, if you want to give me a little bit more context, I can talk about it with better context. But if you just say a ticker symbol, it's like, okay, well, are you a swing trader? Are you an investor? Are you a day trader? Like, what angle are you looking at things? So, yeah, from just a broader scope of things, yeah, this thing's looking pretty rough. But if you start to get into the trading categories of things, then yeah, there's a nice little pattern here, falling wedge. We'll see if the price can get up through there. Oh, I see. I have UNH call next 2 weeks. So hold or sell. Market open Monday. Well, I don't know. Should you hold or sell? What's your strategy? Where's your stop loss at? You probably, if you're asking me if you should hold or sell, probably shouldn't be in the market. You need to be able to think for yourself. Let's see. AUUD. Denmere? Denmere, are you still here? If you're still here, Denmere, please don't tell me you bought right there and that this is some sort of like hold and hope and you're just hoping that I have something good to say. You didn't buy right there, did you, Denmere? I think every trade is a loss. The question for me is how much loss. I try for a negative loss, but if not, yeah, that's good stuff. Good stuff, Todd. I agree with that approach. Just kind of always ask yourself, worst case scenario, if it's going to be a losing trade, how much is it going to cost me? And then ask yourself, how do I feel about that? What's that loss going to do? All right, I don't even think Denmere is here anymore, so I'm not going to really talk about this one because, to be quite frank, this is I did see somebody requested Bitcoin. So for the people that are here, this is these live streams on Saturdays are all viewer driven. If you have a question, if you have a request for a stock, crypto, Forex, anything like that. Somebody did ask for a Bitcoin. Levi Rodriguez, do I ever plan on copy trading accounts? I do, yes. Yep. Real quick to build context, because you are the second person that's asked. But on the channel, in the category of day trading, because that's what's mainly going on here. All right, world free speech. Don't be a dude, stop. Just stop, please. Can you please, out of the pursuit of intellectual honesty, can you please change that to because I think they will, they potentially will, I believe they have a chance. But can we refrain from because they will become runners? Like, are you willing to kind of back off that statement? I wanna, because one thing I can guarantee you is that you are not all in on TNXP. You do not have your entire net worth in on those two stocks. And then when you throw up all the emojis, it's just coming across as like, I don't even know if you're real. Are you just a bot? So maybe that could be a bot comment there in all actuality. Learning how bots are getting pretty advanced. Let me put it this way. If I think your comment is a bot, it's not a good look. But yes, as far as copy trading, since a couple people have asked around here during the week, I'm a day trader and I day trade options through a prop firm. And that's why I make the argument if you're wanting to be a day trader, By far, day trading day trading futures through a prop firm. Again, day trading futures through a prop firm is provable. The best way to go about it. One of this is the nuclear explosion growth, which is copy trading. So in the prop firm world, you can get multiple accounts and then you can copy trade. So you can make one trade for $1,000, but if you copy that trade to the other accounts, and the prop firm that I use, you can have up to 5 accounts. So if you make that one trade for $1,000, but you copied it to your other accounts, well, you just made $5,000. Yes, you only made one trade for $1,000, but because you copied it to your 4 other accounts, you now have $5,000. So that is one of the great things about Pam's plant that we call here, is the potential for really very explosive growth. Now, if that is a two-sided coin, but that is what copy trading is, just to provide a little bit of context for the couple of people that have now asked. And yes, I do plan on getting there at some point, but I'm just not in any sort of huge rush. Okay, that's fine. Thank you for clearing that up. I'm not a big fan of when people show up and make comments like something is guaranteed to happen. Like, this will happen. Well, no, nothing will happen, because unless you think that there was a guarantee. I have a lot on it, 100%. Yes, but you don't have all on it, and that is good, because deep down you know that there are no guarantees. So they will not become runners for sure. So good. I'm glad that you do not have everything in on it. That is good. Well, but regardless, though, the rule is the same. Pick one. Pick one of the two. If you want both, then the $5 super chat. No, that's fine. You clarified it. You're still there, Kyle? Oh man, that is wild. Oh yeah, Bitcoin. I was asked about. Wow. All right, Bitcoin had a very good week. I think I did it a week ago. Hence these annotations. I guess don't quote me on that. Maybe these are from 2 weeks ago. But either way, in the past couple of weeks, price has come up, broken through that. Okay, it must have been a couple weeks ago that I drew these lines in. Anyways, got the break of that level right there. Came up. Blasted through that area of resistance, blasted through the 200-day simple moving average, and is now all the way up there. So on those fronts, Bitcoin looking very good. In fact, let me just delete those lines out of here now. We can start afresh. So any sort of pullback on Bitcoin, I would definitely say you want to see it stay above 90,000. Reason for that is that's essentially the value right now of that 200-period moving average at 90,200. So keep an eye on that. Let's drop down to the hourly time frame. Actually, I like the 4-hour on Bitcoin. What do we have here? I don't know if I'm... Okay, what we have here, I'm on the struggle bus. There we go. As a resistance. If you were to look at me and say, Clay, I disagree with how you drew that pattern. I don't think I'd put up much of a pushback there. I would call this a rising wedge, which is bearish. So yeah, I could see Bitcoin maybe making a push down. Yeah, seen a pullback come maybe over the next few days. Especially on the 4-hour, if it were to break that trend line and it were to break that purple line, that being the 50 period, I could see that opening up. Now, a bearish pattern and the rising wedge does not mean that the thing's going to crash, but I could see it, maybe getting a bit of more of a pullback, which brings us back to the daily time frame. I could see this going back down and potentially testing that 200 period simple moving average. What's the 30-minute got for us? Oh yeah, okay. Even right here, we have this conversion. We have the 50-period moving average. We have the 200-period moving average. So now it's really just a question of, as it chops back and forth, which way does it want to go? And if it does want to go to the downside, then I could see that being... So I could see the 30-minute acting as the leading indicator of the leading indicator that there's going to be more downside to come. The 30-minute breakdown right here being the leading indicator that the rising wedge that I talked about on the 4-hour is starting to go into effect. So yeah, I think that 30 minutes a very interesting level here. And then just on the 5-minute, what's it up to here? It's coming up. So I mean, if I was, I mean, is this the short right here right now? Short right there, stop up here. I don't know. Potentially, if it gets down to there, yeah, that's about a 1-to-1. That's our risk box. That's our profit box. Yeah, about a 1-to-1 right there. Now, the person that asked about Bitcoin, I don't know if they're asking about it from a day trading standpoint. They maybe just be talking about Bitcoin from just an overarching standpoint, which is, you know, fair enough. Like I dude, I care about like what's gonna be. You know, I care about like a weekly thing. I don't care about what's going on every 5 minutes. That's fine. All right. Did I miss anything else? I think, okay, yeah, no, I did UNH. All right, we'll get to TNXP here. Better be see something spicy here. Better be looking good. They must have done a reverse split. I could have sworn this was a penny stock at one point. Did they do a reverse split? Yeah, they had to have. Oh yeah, for sure. This thing was never up over 80 bucks. Yeah, all right, they did a reverse split. Denmere, do you want AUUD or LGMK? If you want both, then you're going to have to throw up a super chat to keep it fair. All right, yeah, this one has... So right off the bat, I don't like that. When stocks are reverse splitting, not a good sign. All right, World Free Speech, I know that you mentioned that you're new to investing. The best advice I can give you is stop looking at what analytics or analysts are saying. That doesn't matter. They're guessing. They're totally guessing. You could ask, you know, I get it. Let me put it this way, and I commented on this on the live stream this past week. I really wish, like, I'm angry about this. I'm so upset that trading and that investing is not as easy as this. Let's find the consensus view of something and then just do what they say. So, for example, if the consensus view on something is to buy, how nice would it be if that's as easy as investing was? Okay, I'm just going to buy, and then you just make money. Like how, oh man, that'd be great. Just listen to the analysts, and if the majority of analysts says do X, you just do X, and you're going to make money. If only it were that easy. So I couldn't care less, and I would encourage you to not care less that the analyst rating that it will go to 16 to 20. Yeah, sure, yeah. Irrelevant. If only it were that easy. I'm angry. I'm upset that it's not that easy. I'm angry and upset that you have to put in a whole lot of effort for this stuff to work. From a trading standpoint, not like I'm not talking day trade or swing trading. I already talked. Okay, I can do QQQ. I did SPY at the very beginning of all this, so I'm not going to do that again. You can go back and see that. But yes, on TNXP, a nice day here. Nice day. Good breakout. That's solid. I would definitely say this area here is pretty important level of support. If the price were to fall down below there, I mean, there's no guarantees, but just looking at the chart, it's kind of no man's land. No other data points if we were to break down here until you start to get down to this area of the chart. So again, that does not mean that it's for sure going to happen, but a break right here, if you were to tell me that eventually it drifts right back to right down here, and then maybe get some sort of bounce, I would not be shocked by that because, again, just looking at the technical chart, there isn't anything back over here that suggests any sorts of areas of support. But as of right now, price isn't anywhere close to that, so that's good. As far as key areas of resistance, I would now say the 200 period, that pink line right there. You can see it behave somewhat as a resistance right there. So I suppose in the nearer term, if you were more of a trend line, if you enjoyed yourself a good trend line. Oh, okay, that's actually real spice. That makes it very interesting. So check it out. All I did was I wasn't even looking over here. I was just looking at connecting this to that, and then look how well it forecasted it. Well, surprise, surprise. That's essentially right where the price stopped. So that will be the big question mark headed into Monday and this upcoming week. Can the price break to the upside? If it can, that is a good situation. I wouldn't get overly excited about it because you still do have that 200 period that you'd have to worry about and focus on. But yeah, it is knocking on the door of that trend line right there. So we'll see if the price can push up through there. Yeah, no, they for sure did a reverse split. I can tell that just by looking at the chart. So that's never a good sign. When companies are having to do reverse splits, uh-oh. All right, you would like, Dunmere would like AUUD. I think I looked at this earlier. It was, yeah, this one's looking pretty rough. Let's see if I can find some sort of positive in it. Oh boy. Is this what is this like? Is this like a day trade, swing trade, investment for you? What's going on here with this, Dunmere? I'm struggling right now. Especially this. I mean, was there some like when did you? Oh, this is what I did. I asked you earlier, where did you buy? And you never replied, so I assumed you were gone. So I just moved on from it. But I think you just, and I believe I caught the bottom at 310. Okay, so you're in at 310. Where's 310 at? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. That's that. So like, what is it? I mean, I honestly, if it were me, and this is not financial advice, I'm an idiot. This is just for entertainment purposes. But if this were me, then I mean, okay, cool, good entry. That seems like where you put the stop. Below the lows right there, and now it's just a question of, is this thing gonna bounce? So far, so good, looking good. It's going sideways. You got actually a little bit of movement right here. And if this continues, and relative to what you're risking, hey, you could be looking at a nice little scenario. So that's really what I think about that. Is you have apparently a very nice quality little entry point right there. You're near the bottom, so you can just throw the stop loss kind of down below there and see if this thing bounces. If it doesn't, oh well. But I don't, like I said, I don't know. If you're like some sort of investor, then maybe you're like, no, I don't want to stop out. I think it's gonna, well, again. But if I'm just operating on the premise that you are some sort of trader. No, TNXP is going to around $60 because it's not. No, stop talking like that. It's not good. Dude, if it were going to $60, it would already be at $60 because big money would know that. Like, if you think that you're ahead of the hedge funds and Wall Street and all this sort of stuff, you're not. You're not. You can't talk like that. I know you're new, so I'm trying to cut you some slack, but I'm telling you right now, like, you're going to instantly lose credibility for yourself when you start to show up and say, no, TNXP is going to around 60. No, it's not. You can't say that. Like, if it was that much of a guarantee, I assure you, people would know. And people would already, it would. Where's 60 even at? Yeah, you just can't say it's going to 60. You don't know that. Swing trade. All right, well, Denmer, well, that's my thoughts. You got a very nice entry point. I think you have a very well-defined stop. So, I mean, that's where I'd put my stop, but you got to figure that out for yourself where you would want your stop loss to be. But yeah, no, it might go to 60. It's got a chance to go to 60. But everything you're reading about is, you got to remember, the market is forward-looking. Like, have you ever heard the saying, buy the rumor, sell the news? Like, pretty much, you've already bought the rumor. Everybody has already bought the rumor. So when the fibromyalgia, whatever that is, medicine that's coming to the USA, when it comes to the USA, that's when everybody's going to sell because that's the news. So because the market is forward looking, it's buy the rumor, sell the news. Who remembers Dogecoin? Dogecoin. What was the big thing that drove that up? Elon Musk was what? He was going on SNL. And when he goes on SNL, he's going to bring the world's eyes to it. Oh, man, but he's going on SNL. And that's when it was going up, going up, going up. And if I remember right, as the Elon Musk was on SNL, it crashed. Because that was the news. It had happened. So people buy the rumor. So all you've done, and I hope you're in lower, what's your entry point on this, world free speech? Okay, so my estimation is that on August 15th or 16th, this is going to have a red day. Because that will be the announcement. That is the news. But the build up to the news, the rumor, all the hype, all the speculation, yeah, that's where you can make money. But if you think that on that day it's then going to get explosive, no. There's a reason why I'll ask you this right here. What happened here? What was the news? What was the announcement? Something happened right there. Think about, and look what happened. Up until that, creeping up, creeping up, creeping up, creeping up. Something happened. The news came out. Whoop, down it went. So yeah, what happened on that day? Sounds like you're probably pretty big investment. What day was? I don't even know what day that was. Sometime back in March. What happened on that day? That looks like a buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing right there. But no, I like I said, from a credibility standpoint, stop saying that things are going to prices or that something will happen. What does it have to break? Oh, I mean, the first key resistance would be, I'd say that it doesn't matter. Who cares what it has to break? Just follow this. Let me ask you this. Where's your stop loss at, Denmere? Where's your stop loss at? Gotta answer that. TNXP has done a lot of reverse splits and also dilutes shareholders. Learn from experience. Yeah. These stocks that do reverse splits, that's the other thing that these investors forget to factor in is like AMC, right? AMC, so much dilution. All that I mean, that CEO was a genius. The way he turned those people into a cult so he could keep selling them more new shares. I mean, he kept AMC alive as a company on the backs of the cult that he created. And well, he created that like separate ticker. What was that? Ape? Remember apes or ape? Like magically. And he created that ticker just so he could continue to dump shares onto the cult to get them to raise money. But as a CEO, he did his job. He kept the company afloat. Yes, it was at the backs and he slaughtered the shareholders along the way, the apes. But, hey, Lobber, I remember your name. All right, somebody asked for QQQ. So at the end of the day, Denmere, you shouldn't care about what levels it has to break. Just follow your stop. As it goes higher, move your stop higher. If it keeps going up, great. If it doesn't, and it comes back down, hey, that's what you got to stop for. Somebody asked about QQQ. Yeah, I saw how much it ran up for, but what does that matter to you? Well, I don't know. Maybe you said you're an investor. Yeah, it made that move, but it also just got hammered back down. Again, just look at the overall chart though, dude. Just keep in mind, this is the overall chart, okay? I just want you to keep that in mind. As Denmere tried to warn you, there's a track record of them diluting shares, doing reverse splits. And you see this? You want to see how many reverse splits they did? Look at this price up here. 23 million. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen that before. Now, did the price per share ever actually trade at $23 million per share? No. But because they've done so many reverse splits, that's what happens to the chart. So that's what you have a whole lot of faith in right now. A company that verifiably this is bonk. I don't think I've ever seen that before. They've done so many that now the chart has to reflect all that to saying at one point the shares were at $23 million per share. That is an insane amount of reverse splits. And look how it just keeps going down. So I would argue, just based strictly from a technical point of view, You have put way too much faith into this. They've done 12 reverse splits. Okay. Obviously, it's your money. You're an adult. But I think you're a little crazy. Now, if you're a trader, fine. Okay. Plenty of boop, 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 boop. I mean, play the bounces. Fine with me. You're a trader. But like, if you're some sort of like hardcore believer of an investor, which you seem to be, the chart suggests that you may be putting your faith into something that's a little sketchy. A little sketchy. All right, let's go back to how is it possible? Because reverse splits. When you reverse split, you basically you reduce the amount of shares out there, but then you increase the share price. But if you keep doing this, eventually, you as a shareholder may have like one share left or a half a share left. Because every time they do that, your amount of shares you own go down. Now, at that exact moment in time, your value doesn't go down because they do adjust the price back up. But it's a way for a company to bring the share price back up so that they can drive it back down again. And that's what this thing has been doing time and time again. Driving their share price down because they keep selling shares. And then they get so low, all right, let's do a reverse split. Let's bring the price back up. And then they just start it all over again. So this is a good example of how, everything always bounces back up. Well, that's true. The company's not going to go bankrupt. That's true. This one has not gone bankrupt. But that doesn't mean that you as an investor can't lose everything, even though the company's still around. Because ultimately, with enough reverse splits, you're going to be left with like a half a share. Best stocks I like to trade are low float stocks. I think that. So Denver, you're not a day trader then? Well, you must be more of a swing trader. Because if you're day trading low float stocks, you are a crazy person. There are better ways to go about it. Way better ways to go about it. I understand the allure of, I don't have a lot of money. I want to grow this money. Low float, small cap stocks can move big, so I want to trade that. I'm telling you, there are better ways, way better ways. That is so just risky. And, yeah. But But I can mathematically prove it to you how that is. It's just a ridiculous way to go about it. So hopefully you just, even from a swing trading standpoint, I would still argue that's kind of sketchy. But if you just have no interest in being a day trader, then fair enough. But if you in any way, let me ask you this, Denmer. Do you wish you could be a day trader, but you find yourself having to swing trade because you don't have that $25,000, so therefore you fall under the pattern day trader rule? Is that possibly why you're swing trading these sorts of stocks? Because you want to grow a smaller amount of money, but you can't day trade because you have a small amount of money, so you fall under the pattern day trading rule. But in your ideal world, would you like to be a day trader where you can day trade as much as you want every single day? Does that sound like did I pinpoint any of maybe your situation? Because there is a better way. There is a better way for sure. That's mathematically provable as being a better way. Hey, thanks for hitting that like button. Up to 64. Again, if you are enjoying the more of the laid back, these ones, make sure you hit that like button if you have not yet. Somebody did ask for a QQQ. So QQQ, big thing here. Big question mark headed into the new week. That pink line there, 200-day simple moving average. There must be a massive delay. Jabril. I recognize that name. Why are you asking that, man? Okay, Denmer, but would you like to be maybe is there just a massive delay? Okay, I realize you're not a day trader. But again, there maybe is a delay problem here. I'm not quite sure. But what I asked you was, do you wish you could be a day trader? And is the reason why you're not a day trader because you don't have that $25,000? So you basically can't because you fall under the pattern day trading rule. But like in your ideal world, would you love to be a day trader? Be able to buy and sell as much as you want every single day? Or you're like, no, or you're saying I have no interest in that. I just want to be a swing trader. But yeah, Jabril, if I remember you right, you should know the answer to that question, which is why I'm confused. Yup. All right. I asked you too many questions. I don't know what the yup is in reference to. I don't know what the yes is in reference to. You have to remember there's the delay, so I'm getting these answers. I'm not quite sure. So if you could say yup, what the yup was in reference to, and then yes, what the yes was. Okay. So let me ask you this. I'm just so I can. I'm not trying to like. How much money do you have to trade with? I know it's less than $25,000 because, but like, how much do you have? And I'm gonna. That's the dream. Well, you are in a good spot. I'm gonna make the dream a reality for you right now. Yeah, I'm gonna turn you into a day trader right now, where you can day trade as much as you want every single day. Well, what do you mean you trade? You're day trading that stuff, Jabril? What is XSP? What even is that? XSP? I don't know what SPX. I don't know why you're doing that. That makes no sense. Assuming you're day trading. Are you day trading options, Jabril? Okay, Denmir. I just want to make sure I understand you right. Just answer. How much money do you have? And I'm gonna show you how you can be a day trader starting on Monday, or actually technically starting on Sunday evening if you want. I get it. It makes sense, and that's why I hate the pattern day trading rule. It turns people that want to be day traders, and it forces them to have to be swing traders because, well, they can't day trade because of the stupid rule. But so if this is a lesson, and I'm talking to everybody, like if you're in Denmer's seat, we're like, well, yeah, I'd love to be a day trader, but yeah, that pattern day trading rule is kind of wrecking my life. So I have to swing trade, and I have to swing trade these kind of smaller stocks because hopefully if I get enough of these, I can grow my account to over 25,000. Then I can day trade and well, be a day trader. So if you find yourself in any sort of situation, in fact, since Denmer is so slow in replying, again, I don't know if that's his fault or if this is his masterful play. But if you're in that situation, let me know how much money you have, and I'll show you. And I'll show you how I can turn you instantly into a day trader, and you can start day trading, buying and selling as much as you want on Sunday, and you're not going to need a lot of money, very little money. Like as in, do you have $105? If you have $105, then you can. Okay, well, Jabril, you already know. So I say this with all due respect, but you don't want to actually learn because I've addressed this. I showed you many times why day trading options is like the worst thing you can do. It's the epitome of working harder, not smarter. Oh, okay, Denmer, then you're beautiful. All right. So Denmer is 3,000. So this is what you can do. Step one, and this we're gonna go through Pam's plan because this is exactly I'm gonna turn you into a day trader right here. So Pam's plan is an argument to day trade futures through a prop firm. And for you right here, the first thing is going to be your problem solved. The pattern day trading rule in futures, yeah, there is none. So there you go. You can now cast aside the pattern day trading rule. No pattern day trading rule at all. So right there, you get into an environment where you are now allowed to buy and sell as much as you want every single day. A lot of other benefits to it right here. Well, right now you mentioned I like the low float stocks. Yeah. Futures will make those low float stocks look like paint drying because futures move and boy, they move very good and you have fantastic ability to control just how much movement there is. Yeah, well, you're Denmer. Okay, that's great. You're done swing trading. Like I said, all of that swing trading nonsense ends right now. So, second phase. So phase one. Okay, I'm now going to start day trading futures. And you already use charts. So instead of using charts to trade stocks, or in your situation, these ETFs, you're now going to just use charts to day trade futures. So that's why I love charts. As long as when you know how to use a chart, you can just switch between things, no problem. So, well, no, I don't want to have to learn how to trade something. You already use a chart. You're just going to now use the chart to trade futures. So next thing is you're going to want to get a prop firm. Why is a prop firm helpful? Well, there's going to be low capital required. How low is it going to be required? Well, let's hop over here and take a look at the one that and this is what I do. So I'm not like talking in theory. This is exactly what I do. This is exactly who I use. So you have $3,000. So you could do any of these if you wanted. So the first step would be you got to pick out the purchasing power that you want. So let's just say you want to go with 25,000 because there might be other people in the room that this applies to. So you can get $25,000 of purchasing power for $105. So now you are in an environment where things move, they move very quickly, and your all-in risk is $105. Now the way a prop firm works, in a nutshell, is you've first got to prove yourself that you can trade, and you'll go, after you pass in the test, you go into the pro account. And the pro account, that's where you begin to make that money. But what's very, very nice about all this, and which is way better than what you're doing when swing trading, those sorts of things, because you can take some big losses swing trading low float stocks if one goes against you. But here with Pam's plant, you have added risk control in this situation, specifically via the money that is being protected from you. Because let's look at a couple different situations here. What you're doing right now, you are trading, like I said, those small cap stocks. Small cap stocks, yeah, they can move. They definitely can move. But let's just say, and we won't even say like you go on tilt or anything like that, but let's just say you have a bad day. And that bad day is because there's something crazy happens with the price movement. Now, if you're using your own money, which you are, and in fact, let's just say let's do this one. No, it's this one right here. So let's say you decide to go with the 100,000 purchasing power, which you could totally afford. You have $3,000. That would only cost you $231. But let's say now you're using that $3,000 to trade one of these low float stocks. And something crazy happens, and boom, $3,000 gone. Well, $3,000 gone here is going to cost you something, but it's not going to cost you the entire $3,000. You will lose the account because you failed the test. You've broken one of the rules. One of the rules is, hey, you can't lose $3,000. So yeah, you lost $3,000. Yes, you failed the test. Yes, you will lose the account. But how much did you actually lose out of your pocket? Well, $231. Whereas if you're using your own money, which is what you're doing right now, that crazy move, which could happen at any moment, especially with those low float stocks, that would be all of your money that is now gone. So you would be knocked totally out of the game. In this situation, would you be knocked out of the game? No. You would have lost that account, which you can get back again for $100. But let's look at the math. So you have $3,000. And like I said, if it's all of your money, and then boom, something crazy happens, boom, you're done. You're out of the game. Where in this situation, if it was $3,000 you started off with, but you purchased this account for $231, so minus $231, and then poof, something crazy happens. Guess what? You're still in the game. You can get this account back for another $100. So let's subtract out 100. Let's say you're trying to get, oh, boof, bam, something crazy happens. I don't know, you lose your mind. All right, well, you lost the account, but you can get it back for $100. Something crazy happens again. I don't know what. You lose it. You can get it back for $100. Something crazy happens again. I don't know. You go on tilt. You can get it back for $100. Whoops. And, something crazy happens again. You revenge trade. All right, well, that account gone. You can get another one back. You do something crazy again. You FOMO. All right, that just you lost $3,000 again. So you can, but you can get back the account for $100. So, and I don't know. You do something stupid, then you do something stupid again, and then you do something stupid again. Then you do something stupid again. And then all of a sudden, you finally get your groove. And you're starting to get futures figured out. You're starting to find, okay. And then you're able to pass the test. And then you pass the test up, okay. But now maybe you do something stupid again. And then you do something stupid again. And then you pass the test, but you do something stupid again. And then, all right, now you pass the test, but you actually get a groove. And because you passed the test, you're now in the pro account. So you're in the pro account. That's where you can make money. Now you keep 80% of what you make, okay? So now let's say hopefully you have made a ton of mistakes. You have lost a lot of accounts. You have just blown up a bunch of times. But all of a sudden now, you go on a streak. And in this situation, let's just say you make $5,000. Okay, so you make $5,000, and then that's what they pay you. So plus 5,000, that was at 14. So plus 5,000, you're now at 64.69. And then let's say, all right, then you finally, because in the pro account, there's still those rules. So if you violate one of those rules, but you violate that rule, all right, well, again, you could get that account back. That'll cost you $100. But look where you stand right now. Do you notice about where you stand relative to where you started with a whole ton of mistakes, a whole ton of blowups? You see that, Denmere? I'd like some feedback. Same with anybody else in the room. Does anybody tell me, what do you notice about where Denmere would stand after having made a ton of mistakes, but after all those mistakes, all those blown up accounts, all those failed challenges, what do you notice about where his progress actually is? That's not true, Jabril. You've been on the live stream before. Yeah, I've abandoned day trading stocks and options because it's pure and utter garbage. Pure and utter garbage compared to what I'm talking about right now. Hopefully you've been listening because I just presented exactly why. Oh, please tell me you didn't just bail, Denmere. Today was supposed to be your good day where I'm going to show you where I'm turning you into a day trader and you can kick the swing trade into the curb. Does anybody notice what's going on with these numbers? Anybody notice where these numbers are at after a whole bunch of mistakes? Does anybody see? Is this thing even on? Hello? Hello? Oh, Denmere I think Denmere just did me dirty. Wow. All right, thank you. Okay, Gary, Matt. I swear, if Denmere's gone, I may retire from live streaming. The guy wants to be a day trader, and he doesn't think he can because he's only got 3,000. So that's why he's day trading these or swing trading these garbage stocks. And I'm trying to tell him, and now he's just like gone. Marvel X-Men. Okay, well, what for the people that are saying yes, you see the difference. I mean, what is the difference you've noticed? Like, what is the difference? I'm glad you see a difference, but like, what is the difference? Matt mentioned it, but do you see the difference here? Man, that is wild. That is wild. If I was in Denmere's shoes and then somebody was like, hey, oh, you want to be a day trader? I'm going to show you how you can literally be a day trader. And then to just leave? That is bizarre. But Clay, don't you make videos about stocks to trade for the day? I thought you've been... Yeah. Lance, come on, man. I've mapped out my business model here multiple times. Yes, I absolutely still do those videos for stocks because I'm trying to bring in stock traders to be like, hey, there's a better way. So yes, I'm turning it into a funnel. Funnel them to here so I can tell them about Pam's plan. Absolutely. That's why I do it. I've talked about that many times. Yep, I'm here to try to... Man, that is mind-blowing. Whew. I just don't understand some people. All right, Denmere. Well, hopefully I help somebody else out to realize, like, hey, if you found yourself in Denmere's shoes, then all you would have needed is that 105 to get started. So if you have 105, you could literally turn yourself into a day trader. And I say Sunday at 6 p.m. because that's when the futures market opens back up. That's one of the parts of Pam's plan here. If you have a very busy schedule, well, guess what? Futures are open pretty much around the clock. Now, they did close Friday at 5 p.m., and they're closed now until Sunday at 6 p.m. But during the week, they close for only 1 hour. So, for example, on Monday, they'll close at 5 p.m. Eastern, but then they'll open back up an hour later at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then they'll close on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern for 1 hour, then open back up on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So, for lack of, for argument's sake, they're essentially open around the clock. So that's why I say, hey, you could be day trading literally this Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I mean that. I love Blood Raven. Yeah, so another options trader. So the problem with options is this. And this is, Jabril. I don't know what it's crazy to me that people are doing. Well, it's not crazy because I understand. People are not aware of Pam's plan and the power of it. So those prop firms, if I sign up for the pro, no, you don't sign up for the pro. You sign up and you get a test. You have to pass the test first before you get the pro. What I do and what you would go through, Jabril, is you would first pick out the purchasing power that you want. So purchasing power, and if you use code Clay to help support the channel, you'll get the 30% promotion, and then there's $0 activation fee. But you would pick the purchasing power you want, and then during the checkout phase, they would ask, well, what platform do you want to use? So it sounds like you like NinjaTrader. I use TraderOvate. But the nice thing here is that you don't have to go to any of these sites and create your own account. They'll create one for you. So for example, TraderOvate, because who likes to go through the sign up process? But in this situation, Take Profit Trader, who is the prop firm that I'm using and that I recommend, they will create the Tradeovate account for you, and then they'll just send you the login information, and you log into Tradeovate, and there you go. You can get started with it. What is the best prop firm you think? By far, Take Profit Trader. For the beginning prop firm trader, they're very straightforward. They have very clean rules, very easy to understand, and they have a great payment policy. Some prop firms doesn't make them a scam, but let's just say you make $5,000. They'll say, okay, you made $5,000, but you're not allowed to request money until every couple of weeks. And even in a couple of weeks, even though you made $5,000, you can only request for us to send $2,000 of that to your bank account. Again, that doesn't make it a scam, and they will pay, and they'll eventually pay, all that sort of stuff. But with Take Profit Trader, they're like, nope, once you get into the pro account, if you make $5,000, then you can request money whenever you want, and you can request all $5,000 of it. So from that angle, Take Profit Trader, very straightforward. Yeah, and they are, well, the thing is they're not, because with Apex, I know you can get those test accounts very cheap, and then you can, and by the way, I do have a code for Apex, so I'm not bashing Apex, but I just argue Apex is for the advanced prop firm trader, because Apex is they have a lot of rules. They're definitely more complicated. What is a prop firm? Rams, come on, man. You've been on the live stream before. I've talked about this a million times. Are you serious, dude? Come on, man. You're trolling right now. But so yes, Apex, and listen, you can pass in one day, yeah, but then all of a sudden to get to the next phase that lasts up to I think like 8 days before you could get paid, well, then you have to pay that activation fee. So in all actuality, Take Profit Trader is, right now, I think they're even cheaper than Apex because they have zero activation fee. So, I am not a fan of Variety Central. Not a fan. Still, though, Rams, I've talked about prop firms so much. A prop firm is a way for you to put very little of your money at risk, and then you can have a whole lot of upside potential. What are you doing, Rams? I don't even know if a prop firm, are you like a day trader? What are you looking to try to day trade? So yeah, Justin, yes, they appear to be more expensive up front, but when you actually look at the structure of things, they're actually cheaper, because even if you pass that Apex right away, well, then all of a sudden they become more expensive than Take Profit Trader because you have to pay the activation. But plus, setting all that aside, Apex is very, very complicated, a lot more rules and all of that. So Take Profit Trader, I think, is the best for someone that's just getting started. But you're learning how to read charts. All right, well then you don't need to worry about prop firms right now then. So if you want to learn from me, I'll just link this to you real quick. You can do with it what you will. But if you want to learn step by step by step by step by step by me not being overwhelmed like most people do when they hop on the internet rabbit trail, you can check that out right there. Good morning, Clay. When will the volume come in U.S. market? I'm not sure. I think you just mean when will it open? It'll open back up on Monday morning. There is another question. Oh, about options trading. Somebody asked, who said that? Blood Raven. Thank you for that. So the problem with options trading is this. When you buy an option, and this is why I say, like, this is so... Now, everybody has to remember, and listen closely, please. The claim is not you can't make money day trading stocks, day trading options, day trading forex, day trading crypto. That's not the claim. The claim is you're working harder, not smarter. You're not being efficient. You're taking on too much risk. That's the claim, inefficiency. And the options argument is super way to argue that. Because in options, if you buy something, and if you're familiar, but there are a lot of options day traders. I understand why, but here is how it is inefficient. So if you buy something, one way to make money, this is obvious. Well, if you buy something you want it to go up, well, then of course you made money, right? So plus. You made money because the thing you bought went up. The other obvious way is, okay, well, you bought something, you want it to go up, it went down. So yes, of course, in that situation, you lose money. But the other part is, well, what happens if the thing just goes sideways, kind of chops around, goes sideways? Now, the rational person that is thinking clearly and is just not aware of options is like, okay, well, that's like the break-even situation. You don't win, you don't lose, so it's break-even. That is also a loss in options because there's something called theta. And theta, without going down in the rabbit hole, is something that it's decaying. It's time erosion. It's, for lack of better, or for just to keep things simple, your position value is decreasing as it goes sideways. Well, what do you mean? But the price is going sideways. I know, but it is going to go down. So in other words, of these three outcomes, when you buy something, two of the three will cause you to lose money, meaning you have a 67% chance to lose money. That is why I say if I were looking to send somebody to the torture chamber of day trading, I'd be like, I sentence you to day trading options, where you have literally a 67% chance to lose money. Now, I've had people say, yeah, Clay, but I make money trading options. You know what? That is awesome. You would do so much better. You would make so much more with futures day trading. Because if you can make money dealing with theta, guess what futures do? Futures, they are contracts, but they're not like options contracts. What's the difference? Good question. There's no theta. So again, for you options day traders, if you're watching this, be like, well, yeah, I guess I get it. There's like 67% chance, but I make money. Dude, that's awesome. Or dudette if you're a woman. That's so cool. I'm just trying to tell you that if you can make money in that environment, guess how much more money you can make when you don't have to deal with theta. That's why this is an argument of efficiency, of working smarter, not harder. So Jabril, if you're still here, that's why I don't know what you're doing day trading options, man. And this is coming from a guy that I was a big day trader of stocks and options, and that's why I can say with full certainty and authority and a whole lot of experience, day trading stocks and options is pure and utter garbage compared to day trading futures through a prop firm. If you're day trading futures with your own money, that makes me very, very nervous, especially if you're newer. Why? Because of this one right here. They can move, and they can move big. So that makes me very leery. I don't think I definitely wouldn't tell anybody that's brand new, hey, yeah, go start day trading. No. I would say day trade futures for these reasons, but that's where plant comes into play through a prop firm. Because if you're going to get roasted, I don't want you losing thousands upon thousands of dollars. I just want you to lose your account, which during the test phase, if you got the 50,000 purchase power, you would only lose $119. Now, real quick for you very observant people that are thinking this sounds like a scam, and I think it's a scam, Clay, because how in the world is this a sustainable business model where they're going to just only require $119 from you, but then they're going to let you lose $2,000 of their own money? Because the test phase here, this is all happening in a simulator. So when you're trying to prove yourself, it's all in a simulator. So that's how it can actually be a profitable model and actually sustainable. So just keep that in mind for those of you that are like, wait a second, those numbers don't quite check out. Yeah, stated event. Yeah, exactly. Blood Raven. IV, implied volatility. That's a crusher, but for this, I just don't want to risk overwhelming people and making it confusing. So I just stick with theta, but you're absolutely right. How is the end of day drawdown compared to trailing? End of day is great, but that's fantastic. You're used to trailing because in the pro account, it is a trailing drawdown. But during the test phase, it's end of day. So end of day is just better. But you would have the leg up already, Justin. If you're already used to the trailing, then yeah, that's what you would do. Yeah. Apex is definitely hard. No, that's why I say I have nothing against Apex. I just think a good flow would be just get somebody to convince that futures are better. Next step, get them to believe that a prop firm is better. For other, again, and when I say this, I can back it up mathematically. Like I can show you the numbers of why it is better. But then the prop firm world can get very overwhelming and come across. It can be like no, too complicated. And that's what that's what Apex would do. There's a reason why a lot of people think that Apex is a scam, because it's brand new people to the prop firm world that don't understand all the rules. And there's a bunch of rules. And they're like, wait, what? What a scam. It's like, no, you broke the rules. Yeah, there's a million rules, but you broke them. That's why I say start with Take Profit Trader. Just understand prop firms. Understand the general structure. And then once you start to get start to get Take Profit Trader going, you get your 5 accounts. You maybe start copy trading those accounts. You start to prove success. Then take that next step. And then you can have Take Profit Trader and Apex, and you can be trading, many, many accounts. You'd be copy trading many, many accounts at once, which again is where all this nuclear explosion growth comes from. But it's got to be one step at a time. And I would argue you got to make this as mentally peaceful as possible. And by starting off with Take Profit Trader, I think they do a good job of just keeping the rules simple, straightforward. And then once you can prove yourself there in that environment, then move to kind of the next level of prop firm trading, which would be Apex. But for a brand new person to start off in Apex, I think is just crazy. They're going to get overwhelmed. They're going to get it's just not going to turn out. It's not going to turn out good. Can you explain a bit about how to go about what? The trailing drawdown at end of day? Or which one? So the intraday trailing drawdown, Justin, what you're already used to, just do what you're doing with Apex. That's already good practice. The end of day is like a breeze. Like there's really nothing to explain. You'll be like, oh, okay, this is awesome. Yeah, Lauber, exactly. I have not done a video, Gary. The good suggestion. Really, you just got to be aggressive with your profit taking. If that means more sniper shots, then do that. No, I mean the volume. Do you think more volume has to come in the market? Oh, I don't know. I don't. Ratul. I'm trying to think. What did you originally ask about? When will the market come in the? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know the market. The volume's already here. I'm not sure. I don't know what you mean by that. The volume. There's plenty of volume in the world of futures, which is what I care about because that's what I trade. Futures move great. Justin, okay, I'm gonna go read about it, man. It sucks. I lost. I don't understand what do you need to read about? The end of day drawdown? That's what you wanna learn about? DR, I'm completely new to all this. Just downloading NinjaTrader, trying to figure out paper simulations. Any tips, please? Completely new to what? The world of prop firms and futures, or just completely new to day trading? Okay, DR. Let me ask you this: when I say candlestick technical charts, do you have any idea what I mean when I say that? Like, do you already know how to read and set up trade plans with candlestick technical charts? So I'm just not quite sure what you're completely new to. Because I understand somebody might be like, no, I know how to read charts. I'm just new to futures. Or I know how to read charts. I'm just new to prop firms. Again, if you're enjoying, hit that like button. I think this is a new Saturday like record. I don't know if we've ever been this high. But if you are enjoying, if you have not hit that like button, and you want to be part of the Saturday record-breaking stream. Yo, I'm new to everything. I don't know what any of that means. I have a basic understanding of candlestick charts, but I've never traded a day in my life. Okay, so you know what charts are. So yeah, I mean, well, yeah, this is my tip. So DR, it sounds like if you're DR, correct me if I'm wrong. My problem is I size up great and do. Okay, Justin, I thought you were asking about like, why do I didn't like? How am I going to deal with the end of day drawdown? It's like the end of day drawdown. There's like, no, that'll be beautiful. So my problem is I size up, do great, and then I end up blowing accounts with what? Yeah. Well, I think the other nice thing about that, Justin, is with the payout process, you can start to take daily payouts from Take Profit. So I mean, if you're routinely, I think that'll help with that, because if you know, like, okay, even if I just make a few $100 today with Take Profit Trader, I can request that money out right away. I just buy common shares and like fundamentals of a drug company like PFE should do backup 27 shares. Yeah, well, Michael, it sounds to me like you're just an investor, which is fine. But this is Pam's plan here is an argument in the category of day trading. So it sounds like you are in the category of investing, which is fine. But we're in different categories. So yeah, people in the category of investing or swing trading, this is not intended for you. It doesn't make me keep my money in account to end up. Yeah. So that's again, like I said, Apex, they know what they're doing. Take Profit Trader though, as you make that money, you can request it daily. Again, in the pro account, daily requests. Yo, what's up? I'm new to everything. I don't know what any of that means. Well, filmed by Mez. When I say, do you know how to read technical charts like candlesticks and stuff like that? Because that would be step one. I just started researching. Well, DR, it sounds like you want to do futures, which is good. Futures is where it's at, especially because, again, there's no pattern day trader rule. But I would also say, especially somebody that's new, you got to go through a prop firm. Because futures, because of that movement, they move very quick. And because there's low capital required, it doesn't take a whole lot. And then all that is if something crazy happens, you do something stupid, which you're going to do stupid stuff. That's part of being a beginner. I still do stupid stuff. But when you're within this context, you protect your own money. How do you protect your own money? Because of this right here. You have very little of your money at risk because there's low capital required. Someone did indeed tell me, yeah, that's good. So you're on the right pathway there. I would just say make sure that you're doing those Nasdaq futures, which is what I trade. Trade them through the prop firm. All right, hey, Justin, if you want, just get the code or to support the channel to get the current discount. Code CLAY, Justin, C-L-A-Y. If you want to support the live stream, support the channel. I thank you in advance if you do use code CLAY at checkout, which will give you, like I said, the current discount, which is actually a really good deal right now, 30% off. But then the other thing that you have to keep in mind with prop firms is, and this is, doesn't all of them do this, but when you move from their test into, whatever they call it, some call it a pro, some call it a funded account. But when you make that jump, they charge what's called an activation fee. And Take Profit Trader, normally to make that jump right there, to quote unquote activate your pro account, it costs you $130. But right now, if you use that code, code CLAY again, not only will you get that 30% off, but this right here is actually nothing. It's $0. So all in, quite literally, you could be all in for $105 on the low end of things. With 25,000 purchase power, $105 is all you have at risk. We had somebody actually Nathan was here this morning, but Nathan, does prop firm stuff with futures. He was all in for a prop firm, $130. So he paid the $130 to get his account. He passed. He moved into the pro accounts, and then he went on to make $9,700. And then he did violate the rules, so they took away his pro account. But he had put $9,700 into his bank account first before he violated the rules, and they took the account away from him. So in other words, the entire time he only had $130 at risk, but he was able to essentially turn that $130, if you look at that as an investment, he turned that $130 investment into $9,700 before he lost the pro account. Now again, you can always go back and do another test to get a pro account once more, but that's the name of the game. Get those payouts, but at the end of the day, if something crazy happens, I'd rather have, in this size account, something crazy happenings, and if you fail the test, that means you lose more than $1,500. Well, then, yeah, you didn't actually lose $1,500. You only lost what you paid for the account, which in that situation would have been $105. Rufus, what prop firm am I using on stream? Take Profit Trader, which is what you see at the top of your screen there. And then, I never did that. Oh, I'm a bonehead this whole time. I meant to have this pinned the entire time. So right there. Let me pin it now. Wow. This entire 2 hours and I just noticed it. So right there, I just pinned it there, Rufus. That's who I'm using and who I recommend. And if you want to get the current promotion, which is the best one available out there, and you want to support the channel, code CLAY for that. So the lowest I've used is 50K on Apex. Not sure if I should. Did you say you've gotten payouts on Apex, Justin? I think you said that. So if so, you might as well stay with a 50. The one thing to consider though, Justin, is just if you do blow an account and then you have to reset, the reset is $100. So if you're new to prop firms, reset just means you get your account, you get to try again, you get to take the test again. It's only $100. So what I like to just kind of throw out there is if you just operate on the premise, you're probably going to blow an account because that's part of it. But it's key because you have very little at risk. It's like, okay, well, what do you want that next $100 to get you? Well, do you want it to get you $150,000 in purchasing power, or do you want it to get it $25K? Because it's $100 across the board. No matter what purchasing power account you start with, if you blow it up and want to try again, it's still $100. So for me, it's like, well, if I kind of want the best bang for my buck, do you start off with this one? Because if we just assume you're going to have blown accounts and you're going to want to try again, well, the quote unquote try again is $100. Well, I think I'd rather have $100 get me $150,000 of purchasing power compared to $25K. Now, I'm not saying that is the be all end all way to think about it, but it's just something that somebody brought to my attention. I was like, the way Take Profit Trader set up, that's a good point. If you just assume that, yeah, you're going to have some blown up accounts and you know that to do it again is $100, what do you want that $100 to get you? What gives you the best bang for that buck? And yeah, I would say $150K. What are some of the rules that get you kicked out? Just right here. So during the test phase, You got to be able to make 3,000. The main one that's going to get you kicked out is that one right there. Can't lose 2,000. You got to be able to manage risk. And then they have rules like you can't hold overnight. So there's no swing trading. This is only for day trading. You've got to be all cash. But I think they liquidate that anyways. So at the end of the day, they'll just sell your position regardless because you're not allowed to hold overnight because this is for day trading. They have a 50% consistency rule, meaning only during the test phase, you can only make 50% of whatever the profit target is. So right here, profit target for this amount is 3,000. So in a single day, only able to make up to $1,500. Now, when you go from the test to the pro, now you can make as much as you want every single day. And also there's that monthly fee. The monthly fee is only during the test phase because a lot of people ask, well, how long do I have to pass the test? You can take as long as you want. But I encourage you, get it done within a month, Clay, but I've never made 3,000 a month. I'm telling you, futures move and they move very quickly. It's more than realistic to get 3,000 in a month. And I just say that you don't want to rush, but you don't want to take it forever. Get it done in a month because that way the monthly fee goes away. But if it takes you 6 months to pass, well, then now you've paid that 6 times. You don't want to do that. You only want to, just get it done within a month. Again, plenty of time. But yeah, besides that, I mean, very minimal rules. Now, other prop firms, that's why I call them definitely advanced. There's a lot more rules than that, Ted. But with Take Profit Trader, very straightforward. Can you reset a pro? You can, Justin, but don't. The math doesn't make sense. For the price of resetting a pro account, you could buy like 5 or 6 test accounts. So the math just doesn't make any sense to reset a pro account. And if you make more than 50% in one day, it'll adjust your profit target. So worst case, if you make 1,600, just lose some money real quick, right? Just buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Let the commissions bring it back down. But worst case, if you're not able to lose enough to get below it, then your profit target will adjust proportionally to how much you violated the rule. But yeah, but again, that rule goes away once you're in the pro account. And it's just here because they want to see that you have some skill. They just don't want you to YOLO and then make it all in one trade because did that actually prove anything that you know how to? No, you gambled, you got lucky, and you made the amount. So that's why they're like, nah, we're gonna mitigate against that in the test phase by saying you can only make 50% of whatever the target amount is. But even if you do that, even if you break that one, that they won't even take your account away. They'll just adjust this profit target and move it up a little higher. Good questions though, good questions. But yes, I still can't believe Damir. That is wild. What in the world, Damir? That is crazy. How much have you made? Enough to make it worth my time. I'll put it that way. Did I miss anything? No, I did that one. Lober, Blood. Apex copy traders trash. It has glitched many. Oh, I don't know if I think a lot of people use third-party copy traders, but again, that's getting a little bit what I'm trying to accomplish here, maybe a little bit too advanced. I look like I did pretty good. I'll check it out. Thank you. The Variety Central. Okay, good. All right, Variety Central, good. I still can't believe Damir. I'd like to be a day trader, but I can't. I'm like, all right, let me show you. And then he just disappeared. I tell you what, the live stream world the world is just a crazy place. People just disappear, especially when it's like I would have thought he would have been all psyched up. Same with Jabril, just had didn't even. I don't know. The world, it's just confusing. Minimum days, 5, but you can get paid in theory on day number 6. Which again, you coming from the Apex world, you know that. Sure, you can pass in one day, but then you have, what is it, like 8 days of your funded account or whatever they call it before you can ever have its chance at payment. So yes, the test phase is 5 days, but in theory, if you play it all well, you could be getting payments on day number 6. Just joining, can you briefly explain? Yes, I'm just going over Pam's plan here. An argument that for day trading futures through a prop firm. So that's essentially briefly explained right here. This is why it makes the most sense if you are a day trader or want to be a day trader to choose to day trade futures and then choose to use a prop firm for doing so. Day trading is for losers. Swing trading, blue chips is the way to go. Hey, man, if that's what works for you, go for it, man. I'm gonna stay a loser. One of the advantages I see of TPT is the ability to get daily payouts. Yeah, no, that's their big competitive advantage for sure. Just joining. Where are we at? Oh, wow, we're going on to. All right, I'm gonna. If there's any more questions, let me know. If not, I'm probably gonna be wrapping this up. But I'll give a few more brief moments if we wanna. If there's any final questions on any of this. Who was that? But yeah, Edentown. So are you a day trader, Edentown? If so, what do you trade? Or are you a trader, and what do you trade? Because I don't know, this may not be for you. I don't see how it wouldn't, but. And let's see, what was I gonna. Trade gold for now. Like futures gold? So you already trade futures then? Is it U by the L on the keyboard? Kinda. I'm thinking he means gold. Oh, you trade Forex? Yeah. Forex is. Thoughts on swing trading futures? I think that would be very, very risky. Because now this is for day traders. You can't, with Take Profit Trader and with all the prop firms I'm aware of, you can't swing trade. But swing trading futures would make me very nervous because they can move, and they can move very big. And if you get a move against you, it can be bye-bye account very quickly. So yeah, personally for me, I'm not sure that's the most risk conscious way to go about it. I have 9 to 5 sometimes. It's hard to day trade. Okay, well, yeah, right here, Manuel. That's what I mean. That's Pam's plant. They're open basically around the clock. There's going to be some time in your schedule to find some time to day trade futures, I should say. So yeah, you don't even need to swing trade future. I mean, day trades in themselves, they're open pretty much around the clock. They are closed right now because they close on Friday at 5 p.m. They'll open back up Sunday at 6 p.m. And then during the week, they only close for 1 hour per day. So, I mean, they're for lack of better terms, they're basically open around the clock. So right there, Manuel, there's Pam's plant for you. You got a 9 to 5? Yeah, no problem, man. Plenty of time for you to find some time to put on some futures day trades. But I would definitely say you can also trade from your phone. That is true, Derek. Yep. To be fair though, to the other asset classes, you can also, trade other things from your phone too. But I realize, Derek, you're just helping them out. Like, yeah, even if you have a job, you could, do some day trading from your phone. Yes, I use Tradeovate. I think I'm going to try it out soon. I've been watching your videos for some time and appreciate it. Well, thanks, Manuel. Yeah, like I said, I've yet had anybody tell me how Pam's playing here, again, within the category of day trading, doesn't make any sense. It just does. It just makes mathematical sense. Especially, with Edentown, I'm assuming he's using all his own money to trade gold. But what, yeah, I mean, if he goes on tilt, loses mine, revenge trades, FOMOs, any of those things, well then, guess what? That's all his money going down the toilet. Whereas in the prop firm world, it's very little of your money going down the toilet because of a bad day of tilt or revenge trading or FOMOing or any of that. Or maybe you just get caught in a crazy move. Sometimes those happen too. Sure, you may lose the account. And, this with the 50K, losing your account would require you to lose the 2,000. But did you actually lose 2,000? Well, the person that was using their own money, so Edentown did, because Edentown's using his own money to trade gold. But if you're in the prop firm world, no, you didn't lose 2,000. You lost the account. You only lost what the account cost you, which in that situation would be 119. But again, if this is after you've one of your resets, then every single time you blow an account, it's only $100 at risk. So really, per trade, you're risking $100. Well, very good questions, very good discussion. By the way, if you are interested in learning more about the tools I'm using, how I manage risk, how I build consistency, all that stuff. I do offer, I am offering this free live webinar this upcoming Thursday. Let me throw this link out in the chat room. If you want to join me on Thursday, you can check out that link right there. So yeah, definitely give that a look. But all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and call it good. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate your time. And like I said, a very nice little discussion, even though it's kind of weird. That whole discussion came from somebody that I really thought I was helping out. And I was super excited because I'm like, oh man, this is a guy that actually wants to be a day trader, but I guess he doesn't think he can. And then he just like disappeared, which was sort of bizarre, but oh well. Thank you. What was his name? Denir or whatever. Thank you, Denir. I think that was, Denmir. Thank you, Denmir, for at least you sparked a good conversation. So, but yeah, that is everything I have. Again, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, clay@claydraw.com. I'll be back live Monday at the very latest, 11 a.m. Eastern time. And then you can see some live futures trading because I do, we talk the futures market. I make some live futures trades. So you can see some stuff in motion there. But thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Have a great rest of your weekend. And for those of you that do hang out in the live stream, I'll see you back on Monday morning. Everybody take care. Have a good weekend.